People ask me all the time what this thing in the middle of my skates is. You shouldn't feel silly for not knowing. This is called a slide block, and I use it for sliding. Sliding on coping, on ledges, on curbs. Mostly it's used for street skating or park and ramp skating. So you won't see it too often at the roller rink. You'll see it mostly at the skate park probably. So it's definitely something that a lot of park skaters and street skaters have on their skates because sliding and grinding is really fun. Here's what it looks like.
Oh my God! Get it.
I don't know if you can tell by those videos, but sliding and grinding is so much fun. It's one of my absolute favorite things to do. Remember that time, John, in New York City when I almost did that whole rail, but you almost killed me too? Oh God!
Yeah.
So
awesome.
yeah, that was really fun. I love having these on my skates. For a really long time, I was super stubborn about putting them on my skates because they're heavy. They're heavy and it's also a retrofit. So for a long time, I was kind of like, yeah, I'll start sliding whenever somebody makes plates that have it built in. You know how like inlines, they have, what's that called on inlines? Is it the H block?
Exactly.
Yeah, so inline skaters call it an H block. I mean, how did people start doing that on inlines? Did they just like start adding it themselves too?
Well, back in the early 90s, there were no H blocks. We had a recreational skate. It was the one skate, so basically they took metal wrenches and inserted it to the side of the frame to grind on copings at skate parks.
Wow.
And eventually took it to the streets once we really started street skating.
Cool, cool. Okay, so you'll see all kinds of DIY slide blocks at the skate parks. I think the first time I saw them, it was probably like Duke, Rennie, or Desi had them, and it looked like Swiss. Oh, you know what? I think I saw Biff in Houston had some. Anyways, these old school skaters that had all kinds of crazy homemade plastic and metal put on the bottom of their skates so that they could slide and grind at the park. Now there's a few companies that make them and you can buy them instead of having to make your own at home. But a lot of people still really love making their own. You can get really custom with it depending on how you want to slide or grind. But for me, I have the Cib Sliders and I absolutely love them. You can see right here they attach, or I guess it's between the bushing and my plate. I love the Cib slider because one, it works really well, and two, there's just 3 sizes that fit most skates. So that's the thing about slide blocks that gets a little tricky. A lot of people choose to DIY their slide blocks because it's really tricky to get it to perfectly fit your skate. So there's a lot of different brands out there. Let me list a few. There are the Cib Park sliders like I have. There are Wild Bones, and the Wild Bones are really cute because they're little, they look like bones. It's super cute. And that guy is also really awesome. And if you call him, he will help you slide. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's see. So there's the Cib sliders that I have. There are Wild Bones sliders. Bigfoot Bike and Skate makes a Bigfoot slider. There's disco blocks. There's, I think that's all of them. Those are the 4 main ones. Cib, Wild Bones, Bigfoot, and disco blocks. There's probably more. I'm sorry if I forgot your company. Comment down below if you know anybody that makes sliders. The tricky part though is getting them to fit. So if you do choose to order sliders, I highly, highly, highly recommend reading everything you can about the sizing because different skates have different wheelbases, like different width between the trucks. So you definitely have to look at the size of your skate, the type of plate you have, and make sure that you're getting the right one for your skate. So it's pretty cool that people are like mass producing and marketing these slide blocks now. But what I'm really looking forward to is somebody making a plate where it's built in. Toto, golly, your friend John, he actually made one, and I think it's actually it's like open source online. It's free. You can go get what is it called? You can go get the files and actually like produce your own.
Blueprint?
Yeah, the blueprint, the drawings, the SolidWorks
That
stuff.
sounds like him. He's awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I should find that. I'll try to find that link to that plate where it's already built in that you can actually just make yourself. I don't know how you do it. CNC routing or something.
Couldn't say.
We'll have to ask Toto. But anyways, so this is one of the aspects of roller skates where people have gotten really creative, and it's an opportunity for innovation. And there's definitely a lot more opportunity for skates to be developed more based on how we're using them. And then as skating changes and develops also, I'm sure we'll need new designs. So that's one thing that's pretty cool about grind blocks and slide blocks, is just seeing how creative people are getting with them, not just in the design and how they fit on your skates, but also in how they're using them at the park and in the streets. So once people find out what grind blocks are, their next question is usually, do I need them to park skate? The answer is no. You definitely don't absolutely need them, but they are super fun. So you can drop in without these, you can stall without these, you can even sometimes grind or slide if you have really hard wheels, just like on your wheels. It's totally possible. But it's definitely like not as smooth and buttery as it can be with a solid grind block. What?
Sorry.
Mantequilla?
I didn't mean to laugh.
If you're a beginner, it's not necessarily an investment you need to make right away. You know, if you catch on to ramp skating pretty fast, then you might want to get them, because sliding on coping is really fun. All right, terminology, slides versus grinds. I don't know. I call it all grinding, honestly. There's a lot of discussion in the roller skating community about what a slide is versus what a grind is. And I'm pretty sure people will say different things. It's definitely not like this is the answer kind of thing. But from what I understand, a lot of people refer to sliding as anytime you are on the block in the middle and going this way. So if the coping's right here, the ledge or the curb or whatever, this is sliding. And then people will get really wide trucks, or really wide hangers is what they call them sometimes. So like this one, and then you can actually like grind on your trucks, like on the metal, and I'm pretty sure that's what people refer to as grinding. I call it all grinding, mostly because I hang out with a lot of inline skaters, and anytime that they're hitting the middle of their skate and hitting the rail or the ledge or the coping, they call it all grinding. So that's why I refer to it as grinding. I try to say sliding sometimes. I'm pretty sure these are called, like CIB calls these slide blocks. So they have terminology online. If you're really into that kind of thing, you could go check out what they say stuff is. I think that's one of the main resources right now for terminology in roller skating is CIB. But I just kind of stick with inline terminology because they do a lot of similar things, and it's been going on for a while. So I don't know, up to you. It's all kind of opinion, but it is good to have, definitions of these things to make it easier to communicate.
Well, I could give a little insight, even though I'm a inline skater.
Yeah.
I've known Brian Wainwright, who's been a roller skater for 40 years now. 8-time world champion back in the 80s. Primarily half pipe, but he pioneered a lot of grinding and stuff on ramps.
Yeah,
And he always called it grinding. Hi, I'm John. Boom. Grinding. I like that terminology.
Yeah,
so
cool. Me too.
Yeah.
Good info. Thanks, John. So you don't absolutely need them. They're definitely kind of heavy, and so it might be nice to, when you're learning, to not have them in order just to make your skates a bit lighter. But if you do have aspirations of hitting the rails in the streets or hitting the coping and doing those buttery slides at the skate park, then you should check into getting some skates. But definitely double check the sizing, double check what plate you have, and if you can, even like call Bigfoot or call the Wild Bones guy or call I don't know if CIB has like a number, but a lot of the people that make these blocks will like talk to you personally and make sure that they are getting you exactly what you need for your specific skate. Yay! Or make your own. There's so many DIY grind blocks that I love. If y'all, put in the comments below links to either pictures or some of your favorite blocks that you've seen. The more input we have from you guys, the better it is. Let's make this comment section a solid resource for anybody looking to get into grind blocks right now. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. I think that's everything I have to say. I think that should give you a good idea of what these things are in the middle of my skates, between my wheels. Be sure to like, subscribe, and until next time, later skaters. Let's go skate, let's go skate, let's go skate, let's go skate.